Every nation has a term, and every nation have a term. So when a term comes, they cannot remain behind the least while, nor can they preside. The Holy Quran, Sword 734. And there was a term for the people of Noah, Lox, and Moses. This also holds truth in the life and death of individuals, all under control of Almighty Allah, especially when a divine beginning and ending have been appointed for the accomplish of certain work that must be done by a life of people. The above chapter and the verse of the Holy Quran is warning to a present nation whose term is now coming to an end. If we know what is said to us, what is written by the prophet for us to read, study, and plan over, and if we understand, we should not fall victims to misunderstanding and disbelief. The trouble with this black man in America is that he is heedless of the truth, for he is aware by the slave foster parents who was his enemy, the right race. They caused him to become heedless. It was the intention of the enemy to make the black man enemy to the truth as himself was and is. This enemy was successful in doing. For the black man in America is referred to as being blind, deaf, and dumb, in many instances as dead. See, this is the work of the enemy. Therefore, it took one who is our friend and our enemy to do good to us. Restore us to life mentally. The children of the father slave masters who took our life mentally are working just as faithfully as their fathers did. However, since 100 years have elapsed from the time of the slave fathers, the children are wiser and educated more in method to keep this black man in America blind, deaf, and dumb. In the days of servitude slavery, our grandparents, the white slave masters, did not even give them good food. Today, you can buy good food if you have the money. However, much of it is poisoned by chemical use. The slave master will offer a piece of fried chicken and a biscuit with a little butter on it to a so-called nickel as the introducement for him to teach or preach what the slave master wanted him to all other slaves on Sunday morning. Slaves did not have the theology of the scriptures, and he made his other brothers spiritually blind, deaf, and dumb. The same goes for the preachers of today, as you can see. They preach for a reward for both whites and blacks. I have tried them for many years. They are as their fathers were. They desire the exhortation of this white man. They want him to give them better position, and they'll offer to cut off the heads of their black brothers if it would please their masters. Although I live in neighborhoods with white neighbors, I do so for the purpose of proving that I can live in their neighborhood just as cleanly and noisily as they do. White people do not like you to come to their neighborhood jumping on them and licking them in the mouth like a puppy. They do not want their friends to think that they are taking you for an equal, who will talk to you as a friend when he is not in the presence of members of his society. They do not like you coming to their blocks, beating your wife or girlfriends and drinking in front of their house. No decent, intelligent person likes this, whether he is white as snow or black as the ace of spade. You can go to the jungles and you will not want this. You see, late at night, he and a gang of monkeys will come out and beat you up. Thank you, thank you. The American so-called Negro have been made out of himself and kind by white Americans. He must now be reformed. In fact, God has promised him a new body. The Bible and Holy Quran teach us that we will be a new people altogether. He will destroy and act ignorant and foolish. He is not aware of his ignorant action because he had become a part of ignorancy. Now the end of the term which was set for the white man have come. The average so-called Negro, the lost found members of the black nation, does not know that this is the end of the world of the white man, his rule over the black nation. He will not listen to one of his own kind who tells or teaches him of the time and doom of the world that we have known, white man's world. They offer high position and money to the so-called Negro intellectual politicians who will work against the good of the black American people. They would accept such, for they have been deprived of love for self and kind. What do they care about the millions who are swallowed in the mud of civilization? They are content as long as they eat the butter biscuit and the fried chicken as their slave fathers did. You will not think that they will hire themselves out to be stew pigeons, white man bootlickers, and Uncle Toms in these modern times of advanced education. But they are doing just that. They do not want the praise and exhortation of God. See, and their own black people. See, they want it from their slave master children. See, the slave master children will give it to them as long as they reject themselves in kind and worship the white people. The white man is very clever in making a public fool of the black man. They show the brown, yellow, and red man what a good job they have done on the black man in America and throughout the earth. He's doing what nature bid him to do. I do not blame the white man anymore for making fools of our people. It is the nature of the white man to make a fool of our people. But it's not the nature of our people to allow him to make a fool of us. But when you have been given the knowledge of yourself, the nature in which God creates you, you still allow the enemy to make a fool of you. And you now have the sympathy of God and the righteous, not the knowledge. The divine term that was given to this right race to allow them to make a fool of the black man and rule him with tricks is now up. The devil with his tricks must be removed. Thank you, thank you. He was given this chance to deceive you with his trichology, and therefore God would not hindering the devil from tricking you if he can. This is written in the Holy Quran, chapter 7. But God promised hellfire to both the devil and his followers, whom we can get from the black nation. Therefore, you and I, at the knowledge of the devil, his tricks, his turn, should not blame anyone but ourselves if we allow the devil to trick us. For that is the job of the devil. It is his nature. We blame ourselves and not the enemy. You lust for his have-new women and thirst for whiskey and beer. You desire gambling, robbing, killing each other for the personal property of others. This is the work of the devil upon you. You do not have to allow him to cause you to live such a life. Do not blame them. Blame your foolish self. It always been the policy of the white man to use a black man against a black man, especially leaders. Look at history. See how he had deceived it and killed off the black leaders of foreign land, and then they took over themselves. This should be a lesson for you and me. We the Muslims have watched our people who have come amongst us as eyes and ears and stew pigeons for white folks when they have become converted to the truth and join us to confess that they are ashamed, that they have worked against us for the sake of a few perishable dollars. We know that this white man is our enemy. And whatever we are, he offers some silly so-called nickel, a high office, and higher pay to work against us Muslims, the righteous, or any so-called nickel, where he be a Baptist, Methodist, holy roller, or sanctified, some lazy so-called nickel will work against him for the white man. It's a shame in such modern time to see black politicians and preachers accepting positions to work against their own black people for a few dollars from a race whose time have come to end. We are justified in taking it. If this white man give us $1 billion or $100 billion, we deserve it. But we are not justified to sell our life for such a gift in this day and time. Declare yourself a Muslim and see how much this devil would give you. He would say we would give it to you if you preach that we are not devils. And we'll answer that it's just the same as saying If you do not teach the truth from me, so that I can continue to deceive the world of your kind, I will help you. Remember what the Bible teaches us, that Satan said to Jesus, all these things I will give you if you will fall down and worship me. Matthew 4:9. He showed him the kingdoms of the world. Perhaps you will be offered a world of this wicked pretty soon. If so, the Bible says, what profit a man if he gains the world and lose his own life soul? This is a warning to the preachers. The little money, if it dime value, will not help you against God's aim and purpose of the resurrection of the dead, lost, found members of the nation. See, you will lose your life. For so doing, you should, for you cause innocent ones who are blind, deaf, and dumb to go to hell with yourself and the enemies. Allah God came forth in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever, the Son of Man, as it is written, seeking to save that which was lost, and to restore it again that which hath gone astray. He said to me that he would eat the rattlesnake to save our life, and that he would walk 40 miles up a mountain to teach just one in order to save his life in exchange for our safety and return to our own. I have taken him for my God and my Savior. I advise you to do the same regardless of the offer of money, which is fast becoming worthless. See, Jesus refused the money and dwelt upon the truth that is written, that we must not worship Satan. See, Satan placed behind us and not in front of us. It is the nature of Satan to try and deceive the very angels in heaven, not to think of the fools who are in his hell. In the Bible Revelation, it is written that you accept the enemy and go down in the lake of fire with him. Read the fallen passages of your Bible which dwell on the time of yourself. America. The American white people are more concerned about mistreating the black one slave of America. The America is concerned with any nation on earth that is attacking her outlying posts. Her enemy are intensifying the attack on her. America white out of the frying pan into the fire all over the earth due to her evil intention against her loyal black once slave. Her talk of evil doing against the black one slave in America is worse than it is against independent nations that are trying to attack and destroy her country, while America have more hatred for the black one slave and her millers who are faithfully fighting on the frying line to help her against her enemies than she is against the enemies that they are shooting down. While America talks of building concentration camps, prison houses for the black one slave, the black man in America, I'm told that America already have concentration camps built for this purpose. Concentration camps are jailhouses, prison houses. This is why I cry day and night to my black brothers to seek refuge in Allah, God, in such a time as this. The Muslim do not have to worry about any such imprisonment, for the Muslim is already a citizen of the Nation of Islam, and we have our own people, Muslim, to deliver us by the order of God. This is why it's so necessary that the black man in America accept Allah, God, in his names, and get out of the name of the enemy, white slave master, who does not seek to bring about peace for us, but enemy seeks to bring about our death. Why America wants her black one slave to suffer that which is not due to this black one slave. The black one slave has not sinned, nor has the black one slave attacked other nation except under the orders of his white slave masters. The nation except under the orders of his white. Independence Day. Who Independence Since 1776, you black men have been worshiping the 4th of July along with the real authors of the 4th of July, the white man, as a day of independence from themselves. It is these white slave masters and his children who enjoy setting forth the 4th of July as a day of rejoicing over achieving this country of independence from any foreign source. Now, the history of the 4th of July shows that it is the Independence Day of the American white man. They wrote the Declaration of Independence for themselves. The white man did not put anything in the Declaration of Independence for the benefits of the black man who is a servitude slave of this white man at this time. The joy which the black slave experienced on these holidays of this white man was due to the black man getting rest from his labor in the days which the white man had set aside for celebration. That is all the black slave will be rejoicing over, that he did not have to work that day. But you are free now, and you not need this for an excuse for you worshiping of the 4th of July. There is no further need for us to worship the ganging of the white man's independence. Let us take a look again at our own black independence and how it came on the same day of the 4th of July at the coming of Allah God. Came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever, on July 4th, 1930. The coming to us on the Independence Day of this white man is very great. It is their day of great rejoicing as with former people and their governments. Destruction took place when it was at the heights of their rejoicing. The kings, according to the Bible history of him, we see Daniel chapter 4 walking around in his palace and proudly looking around and admiring the skills of the work he has set up. It says, "Has not all this my hands have made?" The Bible teaches us that while the word was in his mouth, the end came. Allah God changed his mind and heart from that of a civilized man to a mind and heart of a beast. He had the brain reaction of a wild beast. He was cast out amongst the dumb. What does that signify? It gives us a gleaning into the history of this white man and his being cast out in society of the Muslims 6,000 years ago after he was made, and then started trouble amongst the people of righteousness. Troublemaking caused the white man into his heel in K-side, arrest Asia, as Europe was called at that time. So Allah God taught me. The name was changed to Europe after a white man was cast to that area. Europe means a place where people are bound in to keep them out of society of the righteous. Moses made the white man as the independent race through the guidance which Allah God gave Moses to guide the white man out of his savage cage life and put him on the road of conquest of the black man. For 400 years, the white man swallowed us, the black man of America, up. He did not put us in a hole of the earth, but he swallowed us up by keeping anything like wisdom from coming to us. He set a bound against our own black people visiting us in order to prevent them from teaching us anything other than what this white man was teaching our black slave fathers. This caged us in and made just a secure a cage as the literal cage of Europe that the Arab people put the white man in 6,000 years ago. The 4th of July is a day of rejoicing of the white man over his opponents for the Western Hemisphere. He wrote his constitution for his own white people and not for his black slave. Since this is his day, which he has set aside for himself, then what part black brothers do you have in this day? Your part is not mixed with his part in a way of his own white politics and physical independency. But as I call your attention to proud King history and what happened to him at the heights of his kingdom, Allah God never destroyed powerful people, nor deprived them of self-independency when they was in trouble or when they was sick with grief. He made them to feel happy. He made them think that they would live forever. So it was with the coming of Allah God, the person of Master Muhammad, whom praise are due forever, on his coming to us on the 4th of July, 1930, and his presidency meant the destruction of the independency of this right race, especially America, over the black man. Allah God visit the black slave, for he is more in need of help to enjoy freedom of self. Since Allah God came for the purpose of bringing self-independency to the black slave, then his going forth is with justice. The Bible, Revelation 19, verse 11. To show Allah God's greatness and power over this slave master and his people. Now Allah God attacks them at the heights of their civilization and at the greatness of their power and strength. On the 4th of July, while they worship the greatness and accomplishments, and the black slave is sitting at his feet. As it was with the kings and as it was with Pharaoh, the same is being repeated today. This is Allah God coming on the 4th of July. For 400 years, we have been suffering under the pledge of servitude, slavery, and at the relentless hands of the white slave master over us. Allah God came to give justice and freedom to us, to make us equal members in society of a new, powerful, strong, and wise people of the earth. Ever since that day, the 4th of July, 1930, have meant the doom of American domination over the black man of America and the black people of the earth. Ever since that day, America had been falling. America's fall is now going on. America refused to break her fall when she could have broken her fall, as the Bible teaches us. Babylon could have been here, but she was not. Jeremiah 51, verse 9. She did not do anything to want such forgiveness. America had been offered a chance for forgiveness, but she refused to accept it, for she never offered to do anything favorable towards her black slave that would make them free of her power to rule them. Black slaves went to their death-fighting enemy of the white slave master to help America to maintain her independency against foreign dominancy. The black slave was not given anything in exchange for his sacrifice. When the dog hunt for a hunter, the hunter master will sometimes share a part of the game with the dog. The black slave have helped his master overcome and to put other people under control of his white slave master. The black slave have fought and died around the earth to help the white slave master to conquer those whom the master called his enemy. We helped the white man to conquer Cuba and to overcome and subdue Mexico and the Philippine Islands, other places around the earth, and also Japan. How many lives did the black man lose in the Pacific while helping this white man to conquer the people of Japan, who are the brown half-brothers of the black man? The brown race and the yellow race are the half-brothers of the black man, who independency, now the white man and the black man are both free on this day. The coming of Allah God on this day means the freedom of the black man too. The clear of Allah God coming on this day shows the great wisdom of Allah God. Everywhere the white man may be, even in Europe, earth belongs to the black man. Let us rejoice on this day, the 4th of July, and the coming of Allah, God, who came in the person of Master Muhammad, to whom praises are due forever. Give thanks to him. Let us enjoy the independence he brought to us, the freedom, justice, and equality. He brought these things to us not by killing off the red Indians nor any original settlers. Justice and righteousness are used by Allah, God. Independency. Independency means to be free of the dominancy of others. It's a very happy feeling for one to enjoy self-freedom. The right race and the Western hemisphere takes this day, July 4th, 1972, to be a day to worship and remembrance of the achieving independence of other people. The right race and the Western hemisphere have to conquer the Indians, who have the independent claim on the country now called America. And the right race in America cut off the ties of England and France and became the independent holders of the present country called America and the Western hemisphere. The right race was not satisfied with owning a new country to itself. They wanted the country built up, but the white man was afraid to trust himself to build the country up. So he goes to other countries that was civilized and uncivilized Africa. Africa, he took our black people as slaves and used us for hard labor purpose. Now the white race have achieved those desires. And now we have the glorious things that man can enjoy. Freedom. The country of America cannot be said to be the white man's own. But with having the freedom and the power to overcome the native Indians of this country, the right race in America takes this day of July 4th to celebrate the joy of independence of others. As thou hast done, so shall be done to you. Someone's about to take away your joyful independence. See, the right race here in America have done the worst to the black people who helped the white man to build up the country of America and to make it suitable and to bring this joyful independence. But the right race in America have angered God due to the evil done to us. The 400 years here under the right race. The right race still desired to mistreat and to kill us all day long. The white man hates his black slave, while the black slave should be hating this white man, mistreating the black slave. But the white man makes the black slave to love him so well that when the white man mistreat him, the black slave will not dislike the white man for mistreating him. Now the time of God has arrived. The time that Allah God must separate the black slave and his white slave master and bring freedom to the black slave. So we see the power of our enemies being broken by God and destroying the powers of this white man's power to maintain his slave over the whole world. Independence is fine if we can keep and maintain independence, but there is a dark cloud of trouble now springing over the country of America. The dark cloud makes her once freedom of thought and action become instead a freedom of death, hell, and destruction. It is awful to look over the things of evil and the trouble that are coming upon the glorified North America. The poor black slave, numbering now into tens of millions of black people, never knew anything of the joy of freedom because of the victorious enemy, like a young lion, as Daniel gives it in the Bible, had made the black slave a prey to all of the white man's wicked desires. Now, what do we have to celebrate? In fact, that the white man is enjoying freedom over us and celebrating the white man's independence. We make a fool out of ourselves. We cannot celebrate his day. The only time that we, the black people, have a day to worship and are able to call a day our day of freedom is when we are free from white America and free from any other nation, come independency with some on this earth that we can call our own. then we can say that this is a freedom day and holiday for us. Black sisters and black brothers, let us unite and get together and try to go from that what binds us to others. Slavery in Alabama and Mississippi. The white man trichology has always been trumpeted to the world that they are peace lovers, as though they want all people as they falsely claim to be free and to live in peace, while they are sitting on and crushing between 20 and 30 million black people in America, who was they servitude slave 100 years ago. Now, for 100 years, slave master children falsely claim that we are free and that they are trying to treat us as free people. It have come to me that in the states of Alabama and the country of Alabama, there are big plantation owned by white people and their stately white houses set up on hills, and the slaves live in the surrounding stocks. These black people work hard for very small pay. It is said by some that the salary range for 25 cents a day to $2.50 a week. Rough clothes to work in are furnished it to them. This kind of slave labor goes on through generation. One generation after another is subject to this slave way of life, what is called a free world, in order to keep these black people in this type of slavery. The owner have mounted a guard patrolling the plantation with a gun lying across his lap and a saddle on his horse. See that there is no black interference from the outside to entice the enslaved black on the inside of his plantation come in the bare area for better wages. These people grow up there and they die there on the plantation. Some of them never knew civilization. They are satisfied because they know another life but the slave life that the father and grandfathers have been living under. We hear this kind of slavery goes on not only in the country of Alabama, but in other states such as Mississippi and Georgia. A year ago, when I was a young man in Georgia, I heard that such slavery on large plantation was going on in certain areas in Georgia. People would go to the farm there, and a poor man probably owns another white farmer. This white farmer pays the debit that he owns the other white farmers. And then the black slave becomes the slave, the balance of his and his family's life on the plantation of this white man who pays the debit to a previous white plantation owner. As long as he lives, he never pays that debit. This is the worst injustice and the most cruel slavery of all. They are shot, killed, or beaten to death if they are found trying to leave the plantation. The white owners make other blacks of the same plantation under fear, be the informers, what is said and planned by the blacks. It has been told to me in my younger life that certain rivers, lakes, water, wilderness, like place carrying the bowls and scone of many black slaves from these plantations in so-called freedom times in the age of slavery by the laws of this government and the world. But in these southern states where Mr. George Wallace was running for president, he could make every black man and woman in the South vote for him under fear. These black people are afraid to disobey white people in high office, or even the old white farmer who is hardly able to buy himself a new overall suit. The black people in the South have been brought up for many years, for centuries, to fear white people, where there is no freedom or chance to get out among free people. These black people become the most ignorant and terrifying people of whites that there are in the country of America. And the white man knows this. He gets rich. He builds himself a fine, luxurious home on the plantation. And as far as he can see, he claimed that the land is his. and the poor slaves are living in the worst stocks. When the rain comes, some of them have to go to the walls of the house with piles to catch the rain coming through their almost open roofs. When it comes, they are setting up to their fireplaces, trying to keep warm. These are the worst living condition of human being that could even be in the jungle, Africa, where they do not have saw, moss, or brick kilns to saw timbers into limbers and to mold bricks. White America have everything that's saved to make her slave a good warm home, cold home, and give her slave a good living wage. Because our fathers for 400 years have already supplied the wealth for us today to be given good, substantial wages for our necessary of life. It is pitiful to go into these southern areas out in the Ritual District and see how after 400 years, the wicked sun burned, killed nose, tobacco juice mouth, blue-eyed devils are plunking our people down to such slavery condition, crushing them to death and diseasing them. Children are coming up suffering from malnutrition. Fevers and other disease capture them and take them to their pine box grave or to the hole in the ground in the South without anything like honor of their death. They are buried in rough pine wooden boxes. The black man of America is so mistreated by his 400-year-old slave master, the slave master children, that you just cannot describe any mistreatment of human beings to equal the evil and ill treatment that the black man has and still suffer in America today. In many towns and cities of the southern states, and even in their capitals, you find this black man living in a very bad condition. His toilet, sometimes an open, boarded up place stinking right there in the city, diseasing the citizens because of that evil demon, the white man, who wants to give all the ill he can to a people who has served him as slaves for 400 years. This is going on in the South. Go see it for yourself. The U.S. mail comes into these towns and cities. In some place, the black people are forced to walk to a drugstore and ask a white drugstore owner for their mail. And then they are treated like dogs as though the white devil are giving him something free, while the sinners of the mail have paid the tax for the postal carriers to bring it to the doors. Little black children are walking around with sore pus running out of them for a lack of medical attention. Little black children are dying of diseases, right? And this false freedom of this old USA. The black people are carried down by this victorious enemy who keeps his gun loaded to blow them down. And every happy, one-sided, grinded mouth policeman or sheriff is seeking just the slightest chance to kill a Negro. He only has to say to his better devil judge that he has to kill a Negro. And the judge look at him and give him a big smile and a hand clap as though he did not kill enough. You are to kill all of them. I've heard from their mouth when I lived in the South, there was too many Negroes in the South, and the white people should kill off some of them. There are more Negro than whites, and a white man should kill off some of these Negroes. What chance does this black man have in the shadow of American government for freedom, justice, and equality? I thank Allah and the person Master Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever, who have come to deliver the black man in America, to kill our oppressors. This is very good, and we should be shouting day and night that deliverer has come, The revelation of the Bible has given its people the right name, a beast. And the most victorious description does the revelation gives. In Daniel in the Bible, this people is described as a beast rising up out of the sea with 3 ribs in its mouth. This is the description of America with the black slave swallowed for 3 centuries and the power of our enemies, the devils. The black man of the South will be a fool to vote for any white man of the South to rule him. Stay away from the poll, because this white man for whom he vote is an enemy of his. He's bound to tighten shackles tighter than ever. They preach or enforcing law, and that law is unjust law directed against the black man. Vote for Allah and for his servants, Elijah Muhammad, and by the power of Allah, God, who have come in the person of Master Fala Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever. All the prophecy of the Bible, what he will do in freeing this black man of America, will be fulfilled. Let us submit to him and live in peace with money and good homes and with the friendship of God and the righteous. There's nothing that you have to fear today but God himself. It is useless for us to fear our enemies at the coming and presence of our God, who have power over the very atom of life. For his fear of this white man that will cause our people to eat the fire of hell with the white man if they do not recognize the fact that it's God whom they should fear, and not the devil. The world of the white man is now crumbling and coming to nothing. The safety of the black man is in his God. As the Holy Quran teach us in this day and time, seek refuge in Allah, the God of the black man. He's the only place of refuge. We have made America one of the richest and strongest people on earth. Our mighty navies command the high seas, with our underseas, cliff crawling on the bottom of the ocean, carrying deadly weapons to surface and pour out on towns and cities other than America, and with listening device set up throughout the earth, on land, sea, and the air, to listen to see what people are saying about her and planning against her, knowing she is guilty and deserving of death, and that she should be taken and destroyed. She had prepared to put up a mighty battle. But Allah, God too, have prepared, and he is the best preparer, knowing their thoughts before they was ever made. They had not the slightest chance today against the power of Allah that is working against them, even through the force of nature. The white race have been discussing the entire black nation of the earth. Africa is suffering under the same wicked power of this white race, having an awful time of trying to rid herself of such a demon. She will do so, and soon. Here in America, Almighty God wants to make himself known with both the punishment and destruction of this mighty, powerful, rich people. Fear not, my dear black people, for we have Allah with us. He is the mighty and strong and the most powerful one to be feared. Come follow me, and I'll lead you to your starvation. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm going to see you guys in the afternoon. I'm going to see you guys very shortly. But thank you. I'm finna get ready to go, but it's been a blessing to be here. And it's been a blessing for you guys to tune in. But till then, I'll see you shortly. I'm out.